Rory Stewart and Alistair Campbell, the rest is politics, were at their best today. Their show began with a light-hearted ad for NordVPN, which of course doesn't work terribly well if you're stuck in Russia. But while necessary for funding, it disrupts the flow of what would otherwise be a serious and focused discussion on global politics. And this commercial break, in many ways, dilutes the gravity of the topics to follow, including the analysis of the Russian-Ukraine crisis, potentially trivializing the conversation or humanizing it. Rory Stewart's analysis of the Musk-Trump interview focused on Musk's evident fascination with strength and machismo, a theme that's echoed in his handling of the platform X, formerly Twitter, and Stewart critiques Musk's lack of preparation and structure in his interview with Trump, which he sees as indicative of Musk's broader approach to leadership, valuing strength over substance. This, according to Rory Stewart, reflects a concerning trend in global politics where superficial displays of power, like taking off your shirt, are celebrated over thoughtful, structured leadership. The discussion then transitioned to the Russia-Ukraine conflict, where Stewart drew parallels between Musk's admiration for strength and the global admiration for military might, as seen in Russia's actions. Stewart's criticism suggests that Musk's behaviour mirrors a dangerous global trend where leaders like Putin are admired for their strength and ruthlessness, even as their actions undermine international stability and human rights. Rory Stewart rightly identified the growing global trend of admiring strength over substances, so this trend that Musk embodies and amplifies. But he could have delved deeper into the implications of this trend for international diplomacy and the global balance of power. Look, for example, at MBS and others. The admiration of strength, Trump. The admiration of strength without accountability could lead to more authoritarianism and global instability. The analysis of the recent developments in Ukraine is well founded, with Stewart highlighting the potential overreach by Ukraine in its incursion into Russian territory. However, the conversation possibly lacked a detailed exploration of the potential consequences of this move, both for Ukraine's long-term strategy and for international reactions. And Campbell and Stewart could have further critiqued the Western response to the Ukraine-Russian conflict. The discussion could have explored whether Western nations are adequately addressing the deeper issues of nationalism and authoritarianism that lie at the heart of both the Musk-Trump interview and the Russia-Ukraine conflict. I think, as ever, Rory Stewart is an extraordinary individual, and he's very well matched by Alistair Campbell, and then in fact they went on to talk about Rory's trip to Afghanistan, and it's in some ways it was slightly superficial what they were talking about here, but one of the issues that came out was whether or not the invasion was shared with the NATO people. Zelensky was very confident. He was talking about the aggression in his own territory, and they were talking about judo actually, and that nobody saw the Ukraine offensive coming. Nobody imagines that the intentions of Ukraine upon Russia are the same as the intention that Russia had upon Ukraine when it invaded 2.5 years ago. But there it is. And they noticed that Putin was looking very sullen, very stressed, very Botoxed. His military team looking equally somber. And this failure of intelligence, this failure of might, this failure of machismo, and Russia having to move troops from one area to another to deal with the Ukrainian flexing of muscle. And it's disturbing. I don't think it's necessarily going to change the map militarily, but it certainly puts pressure on. It certainly gives a room for pause and room for thought, and of course there's room for escalation. But here is and if you haven't come across The Rest is Politics, you really should. It's a wonderful discourse on the events of the week or of the day. But I felt in this case the analysis could be a little bit more in depth, and looking at the implication of these trends for international relations and the global balance of power. Additionally, the integration of this commercial at the beginning of the program, and then the sudden change of scenery with Alistair in a bedroom and Rory in a blue suit or blue shirt. It weakens the overall impact of their discussion, reducing the gravitas of the issues at hand. But heavens, we all need a little bit of a boost in finance, I suppose. So I shouldn't be sneering. I'm not sneering. It's just late, and I'm not completely convinced that the VPN now Russia has trapped people in the internet. I don't know whether the VPN is going to be that useful, because the VPN is also trapped, or at least so my Russian friends tell me.